I just did an error as well because I forgot to stop the recording after the first hour. So there's a 1 hour block and then there's a 2 hour block. So great. It is an off day for everyone today.
Yes, quite.
Okay, so time is limited and we're running out of it. So, say, you were in here training, why?
I want to try and get that bone somehow.
Okay, so... you can't... You're training by yourself, but it's not really doing what you're asking. Which is, you tried exactly that. You've tried to hit beyond defenses, but it's like, you don't quite know how. Because in essence, you've never seen it done before. I mean, the only one you've really seen do it is your mother, but she's not around at the moment. For obvious reasons that only you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't really want to call on her. Maybe Cat?
Yeah, but, you have to go find him wherever the hell he is. He isn't just a guy that can be just summoned on demand.
Well, if Cap is his true name, then maybe he can.
Maybe he can? Alright, how would you go about that?
The gate spell can pull people through it if I know their true name.
Okay. So, I mean, you could try it, see what happens.
Why not?
So, do you have a diamond?
Clyde is my diamond.
Oh, yeah. Because he actually... Where's Clyde? Clyde's not on you. He's like, you gotta go pick him up from Tobias's head first. Okay, there you go. So, you pick up Clyde. Like, Tobias is just... he's doing his best to ignore the rabbit on his face, but you can tell he's getting slightly frustrated. Like, because Clyde is getting used to being on people's head, and he's playing with his head. So you see, like, his paws, like, touching his face.
Good times.
So, and then you just kind of pick him up, and you see a little bit of relief. At the same time, Tobias is kind of staring daggers, like, you did this to me. So you turn it into diamond. Let's see. So you open a mystical portal, and do you see what's on the other side when you do this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you see that you're basically looking into a room, and you're seeing that Kep and Blast Girl having intercourse at that moment. They don't even notice that there's a portal open. So.
And it sucks them through. So.
Yeah. So does it suck everything through, including like the bed and everything?
It's specifically sucking Cat, but if he's like holding on to something, then it would pull that as well.
Okay, so basically they're both being pulled. So it's just them two that are being dragged through this portal? Like no blankets or anything? How's this work? Say what?
It's really based on what Cap grabs onto.
Okay, so since he's not holding the blanket, it's just going to be him and Blast Girl are going to be the ones that are dragged through this portal. So they kind of touch the ground, and then he looks up, and he's looking at you, saying, "It's like, really? It's, I was in the middle of something."
How was I supposed to know that?
It's like, I don't know. You could ask, maybe.
It's not how the spell works.
And so Blasco doesn't seem to be like caring that they're basically in public at the moment. And actually, it's like she tries to continue. It's like, what? It just makes it more interesting.
1 second.
So.
And
so, like, he's got decorum. He's getting up.
I pat them both on the shoulder.
Yeah, so he's getting up, and it's like, you're speaking from invisibility. You do realize that we couldn't bring our clothes through here.
Yeah, but invisibility for now.
Yeah, so And Blast Girl, like, she's going over and she's leaning against the wall. It's like, oh, he's the one that's all self-conscious about the size of his junk and everything. I don't care. It's like, so Kep, like, Kep, you hear him from the side. It's like, shut up.
Say's just like she's looking away.
So so in essence, Kep is like, that's one of his secrets. Is like he's self-conscious about himself, and Blast Girl's like the opposite. She doesn't care either way. She could be like fully naked in front of you, and she won't care. So
yeah, I guess Say's fine with like Blast Girl, but not Kep.
Okay, so and Kep is like he can't see invisible things, so he like walks this way and he bumps into her. It's like, oh, sorry. I'm like trying to lean against the wall, but it's like you can't really see her because they're both invisible.
Taylor, we have 2 invisible people making clothing, please.
It's like, again, lady.
Yes, again.
It's like, we'll have it done soon.
Thank you.
So, soon is in now, apparently, because as soon as he says soon, you see a person walking in with, like, 2 clothing. He offers it to you, say, and just kind of gives a bow as he's holding in each arm a set of clothing.
Thank you. Actually, Say just throws them.
Huh? He just hurls them?
Yeah, she just throws them at them.
So, and you see the servant briskly try to walk away. It's like, I came here with all this decorum, and then you just throw it. So, he just briskly walks away. But you can see he's clearly upset that it's like, I went through all that, and then what did you do? You just end up throwing it. So why did I even bother showing decorum at that moment? So they catch clothes. You see that, they're still invisible. They're just putting clothes on and they're invisible. It's like, right, I guess you didn't just call me just for whatever reason. For whatever, I don't know why would you call us? Why would you call me, actually? Because thinking about that.
I needed to learn some things.
It's like, well, couldn't you have just come to me instead?
I didn't know where you were.
It's like, I'm where I always am, It's like, I have a place specifically in Mazric for that reason.
No one told me this.
It's like, you didn't ask. It's like, I clearly know you didn't ask because the higher-ups didn't tell me you asked.
Why would they tell you that I asked?
It's like, to let me know if you're coming or not.
That's a bit personal, isn't it?
It's like, not like that. I meant like if you're going to show up at the house anytime within that day, week, month, or year.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Yeah, he understood the joke. It's like, that's why he said not like that.
Don't have to explain. It's just a joke.
It's like it may be a joke it may be, but I'm the one here invisible and naked. / clothed.
Naked / clothed. Excellent work there.
So he's putting his, like, he's still putting the clothes on. Blast Girl's like, she just not even caring to put clothes on. I mean, like, the most she puts on is like pants. And then you see Kep is the one who's like getting the shirt and putting it on, or trying to. He doesn't know where everything is. And so it's like, can you undo the invisibility? This is really difficult to do.
You're fine with Tobias seeing you go?
Say what?
You're fine with Tobias seeing you go?
It's like, it's not going to see it for long, even though I don't care. Just, the amount of time she's been walking around naked in public is very, very often.
Done.
It's like, and so, like, she's giving him kind of like a sly look. It's like, what? It's not like people haven't seen that before. It's like, and if you're ashamed of seeing a naked female walking down the street, then that's your problem. It's not mine.
I just try to keep nudity to a rarity around here. We're not a brothel.
It's like I'm not selling myself. It's just I have an issue with clothing.
Yeah, but nudity sort of implies an atmosphere.
Yeah, it's like when you wear an armored suit for most of your time, you get to the point where you don't want to wear clothing.
You have to wear armor?
And then Kep is like, Kep is giving her that look. It's like, no, not everybody thinks like that, because he clearly doesn't think like that.
Like, anyway, now that you're dressed,
it's like, and so like they're lost in their conversation. Like Kep just continues, and it's. I suspect it has something more to do with your sex drive than it has to do with your not liking clothing.
I tap his head.
Okay, so it's like, all right, back on topic. It's like, what did you want?
So now you're dressed. I would like to learn a new technique from you if you know it.
It's like, and he offers a hand. It's like, pay me.
How much?
It's like 100 gold.
You're cheap.
Yeah, so it's like that buys you quite a bit.
Yeah, I just hand it to him as if it's nothing.
Okay, so and see, he kind of scoffs. Like, is it cheap? Do you even know how much money people are making out there? That's like it's like the average salary around Mazrik is like maybe this, like 100 gold.
Per what?
Per 2 weeks. It's like, but it buys a lot of stuff, so the economy is not inflated. That, judging from here, you're making a lot of gold, apparently.
Yeah. Like thousands a day.
Well, it's like, so you're wealthy, I'm not wealthy. I'm just a soldier. I don't even want wealth. It's like, this is just to buy a little bit of extra, just because, it's like, and Blast Girl just shoves him on the shoulder. It's like, oh, come on, you know what it's for. And it's like, are you just going to air all of our affairs to the world? And, as a response, he just said, he's just going to take me out on a nice night on the town.
Oh. Wait. So you can buy a house with 6 weeks' wages?
It's like, yeah, roughly.
Oh.
It's like cheap pricing. What'd you expect?
Just something a little bit more than that. Anyway, we've gotten off topic. Do you know how to, like, bypass resistances or, basically make my attacks more efficient against people that would normally be resilient?
It's like, why do you wish to know that technique?
Seems useful.
It's like, but that doesn't... It's like, what do you plan to do with it?
Hurt people slightly more if they try and hurt me?
It's like, aren't you already a magician? Why do you need a physical technique?
Anti-magic?
So, like, do an insight. Let's see. So, I mean, it's kind of obvious. Clearly, he's agitated because he was in the middle of intercourse with a woman, and you drag him here. And apparently, you're not caring of that fact. So
I was raised in a bond. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So literally. So etiquette and protocol kind of miss it. Like you don't like does he have to spell it out? Yeah, so he sees that you're not understanding it's like, if you want to know why I'm not so cooperative, it's because I was in the middle of sleeping with the woman of my dreams. Like, he's trying to blandish her. And it's like, and you drag us here against our will, and then you ask me for a favor. So why would I be happy about any of that circumstance?
How is this a favor? I paid you.
It's like, favor, pay, either way, it's like, I was in the middle of something and you interrupted it.
Well, it wasn't deliberate in any capacity. I'm sorry.
It's like, and Blast Girl again just taps him on the shoulder. It's like, oh, come on, you know she's not going to stop until she gets her way, so just give her the damn technique, and let's get on with our day, alright? Besides, you still have something to finish.
We do have some fancy beds if you want to.
Say what?
We do have some very fancy beds.
It's like, see? We get something out of it, so just give her what she wants. And so, like, she quickly corrects herself. It's like, not in that way. And so, like, let's see, does he have a specific name for the technique? He does. So, he just, he walks over to the center of the courtyard. And remember, he's just in civilian clothing. He's not even in any sort of armor right now. Okay, someone's typing something. I don't know what, though.
No, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, continue.
Okay, so he's just shit. I keep hitting the wrong button. So he's in the courtyard. He's, are you actually going to get it? Like, he's asking you, like, he's beckoning you to get closer. Well, didn't Kep, like, not have eyes?
Nope.
Like, his head doesn't have eyes, so there's a man with no eyes with just a mouth. And it's like, it's not so much a matter of strength of arms, it's more of strength of will and strength of mind.
Cool.
So, and he does a flourish where, like he does a swift 5 punches forward and then does a roundhouse, and you see that his blows are glowing a strange blue color as he's doing it.
Shiny.
So, it's like, and so he's looking over Blasco. It's like, do I really have to do this? Because he doesn't seem to be taking me seriously. It's like, that's just say Dell, get on with it.
Wait a minute, can I just, like, replicate it perfectly?
Do a... You just saw... What would that be?
Perception or acrobatics?
Probably acrobatics. So... Acrobatics if you want it to look exactly the same, like, movements. You crit failed that. What on earth? How did you crit fail twice?
I'm gonna use my thing on that.
Say what?
I'm using that.
Okay, so...
Cause
to the point where you have to use a luck point to undo a super mistake. If you get another crit fail, I will be laughing. Okay, so you replicate the movements, but you do not replicate the other part, which is the glow. So, and Kep is like, it's like, alright, so you can replicate the movements, but without the force of will, that, it's like, those blows are just normal. Just normal punches and kicks. It's like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm basically giving you a crash course in very advanced techniques in a matter of, I guess, minutes.
I do the same using my force of will.
Okay, so force of will versus what? Versus 30, so you're off by 2.
Wait a minute.
Cheat.
Cheating powers activated.
So using your force of will, it's
my force of will and peerless skill.
Okay, so your force of will and peerless skill. Yeah, cheatsy doodles. Force of will and peerless skill. It's like, but it doesn't quite match. I mean, you're getting the looks down, but it doesn't feel like it's gonna do much. So, and Kep is like, he's watching you as you're doing the technique, and he just shakes his head. It's like, you can replicate the. It's like, apparently you can replicate the actions exactly, but something is missing.
Specifically?
It's like, I'm trying to figure it out. It's like, he's just saying, do the drill again. Just, So you have to roll on that, actually.
Okay.
There is... So that's a 10 for acrobatics, and then it's a 15 for wisdom. So acrobatics is fine, wisdom is fine. So you repeat it again, and he just he's still looking, and he just says, keep doing it. So apparently the game is being cruel. You have to keep rolling it. You have to keep going above 10 and 15.
Jeez, man.
So he's watching the technique, he's watching your form and everything, as he's trying to figure out, okay, something's missing here. You replicate the technique exactly the same. So now you're doing wisdom. And after you do the third set, does he has kind of an epiphany moment. It's so he gets closer, and he's he gets closer, and he's moving, you're basically moving your arms around, just trying to figure out, okay, what's up with this? He's moving your legs, he's moving your arms, just trying to figure out, okay, it's what's wrong here? You're doing the technique exactly the way it needs to be done, but yet it doesn't seem to be right somehow. Something is off about it. So, you see, it's... So, he shrugs and he can't seem to find an answer. It's just... You're doing the technique exactly how it needs to be done, but I don't think you really have the heart behind it to make this work. I mean, you want it. You want the power, but... And you replicate it exactly the way it needs to go, both visually and movement-wise, but yet... It's I'm not sure what's wrong with this. And it's and he just says, try it again, just, one more time. And now it's he's closer this time. He's crouched on his haunches. He's just looking and watching and seeing. And it's okay, what am I missing here? What's wrong with this? So he's still looking, and then he finally sees it. It's wait a minute. And it's and he goes over, and you hear him whispering something to Blast Girl.
Can I hear? What are you whispering?
Probably perception. Of 15. And Tobias, he kind of, you see him on the corner, he's kind of smiling from the sound of it. So, his whispers are basically saying, it's isn't this supposed to be a man's technique? This isn't supposed to be on a woman? And Blast Girl's she's smiling like she already knew. It's yeah, you idiots. It's, this is, proportion is everything. It's so he walks over. It's well, I don't know how to tell you this, but that technique is more for someone who is a male than a female, because he's just pointing. It's because your proportions are different from both a man and a woman. It's just your... It's let's just say the movements aren't as correct.
Can I retroactively adjust it so it fits my body proportions?
Okay, so are you saying that out loud, or?
No, I'm just thinking that and trying to figure
You could, but that might not solve the problem.
Okay, I'll try it at least.
Okay, so you're gonna try to just so you're shifting your proportions.
I'm not shifting my own proportions. I'm shifting the...
Whose proportions?
I'm not shifting anyone's proportions. I'm just...
Oh, you're thinking out loud.
Style of the move.
All right, so it's well, I thought I could help you, but this is going to take a little bit more work, I guess, because I've never it didn't even occur to me that this is not something meant for a woman.
Um,
I know that sounds horrible, and then I apologize if I offend, but it's just this was passed down by a primarily male order, not so much a female order, so I don't know if this technique is supposed to work like that.
do I get to try and do the modified one and see if that works?
And try to use a what?
Try to like modify the move slightly so it works for me.
Okay, so you have to do an insight. You actually understand how it works. So the short order is that, like, you know, using your skill of Marology, you kind of like, all right, so let's dissect this. So it's a combination of, like, currently it's a combination of movement and magical energy. That's what you see is kind of the base of the technique. And what he's saying is that your proportions are off.
I wanted something that was specifically non-magical.
Okay, so yeah, glowing blue hands isn't non-magical. So
I don't know, cake and...
well, it's like so do you say that out loud? You wanted something non-magical?
Yeah.
So, and he's like, well, I didn't, you didn't tell me, so.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so, well, I don't remember. I mean, this is just the technique I've known. I didn't know this was magical. I just thought I was really good with my fists.
Are you a monk?
It's like, no.
Then it's... if your hands are glowing blue, it's magical.
It's like, then so it is. I didn't know that at the time.
So it just sighs.
Okay, so you're looking for a non-magical way to pierce defenses.
Yeah.
So Kep is like, he's walking this way, and it's like, are you telling me that you actually... that this, it's like, because he doesn't seem to have a solution for you. So it's like, is what you're saying is that he's, this technique is not what you're after, and that, you know, he can't really help you in any sort of way.
How about you, Blasker?
And it's like, hey, don't look at me. I'm just an explosives expert. I'm no melee fighter.
Now you have, you know, some like explosive fist technique or something?
It's like, yeah, he just smiles and is like, yeah, right.
Worth a try.
It's like, got any other ridiculous claims about me that you want to try and throw out there and see if they're right?
No, it's just making a joke, as per usual.
So Kep is like, I really can't think of anything I could give you. I don't have a technique that you're asking for.
Seriously? I'm paying all of these people money and shit, and there's no...
So, and it's like, well, here, if it's just, like, he's giving you back the money, it's like, if I didn't help you at all, so, you know, here, just...
No, keep it. I pulled you out of something.
It's like, oh, if you insist, just... And so, like, you see that Blasker's on the side, she made a face, it's like, are you serious, you giving back the money? And then as soon as you say that, it's like, oh, well, thank God, just... Alright, so... It's like, I don't know who can help you with this, I mean... Because you're asking for a very specific thing, and the specific thing is, you know, a technique to bypass defenses that doesn't require magic. And many of the spells that do require magic. So you'll have to think real hard to find out where to get this.
Know any martial artists or...
So he does not. I mean, he's very much a loner type of character.
Blasker?
So it's like, why do you keep asking me? Why would I know?
I know, you seem Popular?
It's like, and she looks at you, it's like, do you mind repeating that?
Popular.
It's like, I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
What? You have friends? What?
It's like, then like, Kep is the one this time to shove her, it's like, she didn't mean like that. And so, like, she looks over and she looks back at you. It's like, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. It's like, no, I don't really talk with a lot of people. Just, not a lot of people get along with someone whose primary career is to turn things into dust.
That sounds like the sort of person that, like, everyone would want to talk to. It's like a really cool job.
It's like, are you just projecting of what you think people think?
Well, okay, saying that you're able to, like, blow up shit, isn't that cool?
It's like, to some, to others, it's destructive. It's just...
Well, some people are just too uptight.
Well, if you're in an anti-magic field and you hit it with another anti-magic field, it's not going to do any more than it already does.
Yeah, but
yeah,
so saying that the rapier would be fine.
Well, if they're already in the anti-magic field, if they're affected by it, then it's like, it's not going to matter in the end.
Oh. Okay. That's like 3 down. How many to go? Say's mathing in her head.
Okay, so it's like, are we done here? Like, this is Kep asking. Because remember, they're still in, like, civilian clothing.
So just, like, points at the door over here, and then gives them directions to the bottom room.
To the where?
The bottom room.
What, like the royal suites?
Yeah, well, one of them.
Okay, so... And, you see that Kep kind of nods decorum. Blast Girl's, like, leading him by the hand, like, this unfinished business, we need to handle this now. Like, he tries to say something, but, like, Kep, like, Blast Girl just, like, drags him by the hand through the room. So, and Tobias from the side is like, it's like, good talk. Good talk.
Yeah.
It's like, what can I say? How many martial artists do you know?
Quite a few.
It's like, well, I hope one of them is using a technique that isn't inspired by magic.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, do you know anyone that might have?
It's like, Rang is like, I am not at liberty to say.
But I'm your master.
It's like, it's like, I am not at liberty to say because I do not know the said information that you are asking for.
Well, you could have just said that you didn't know.
It's like, I was just trying to make conversation.
Okay, how about you, Clyde?
So, Clyde doesn't talk, remember?
You can. I mean,
so,
you can.
Yeah. So, but he doesn't really say anything. I mean, like, he just looks at you.
Any ideas?
What, are you talking to Clyde?
Yeah. You just speak with
So,
animals.
like, he just looks at you, and then you see, like, he takes his paws across his head, and he just kind of, like, rubs his head with his paws.
Well, I guess I'm off to go meet some people. See ya.
Yes. So you just wander off.
Yep. Hey, Tukri.
Yes. So Tukri's working on, she's working on, that's like, yeah, just...
Do you know anyone that can teach me a very specific non-magical martial arts, and I explain exactly what
She just she's looking at you. It's like I don't really know. I mean, even my husband, who is a monk, his spells are magical. I mean,
well,
it's like, hey, Winston, do you know anybody? And so Winston is like, yo, Grim, dude, you... And it's like, you see Grim is the one who's walking over. It's like, okay, I guess Grim's got something to say. I'm gonna just get back to work then. So, and you see, his name is Shrimp, that's what his name is. He's kind of small, he's got a bunch of crap on his back. So Shrimp tries to walk over with Grim, but Grim like holds up a hand and he gives a wave that, I'll be back in like a few seconds. So he walks straight up to you and he's looking eye to eye, but remember his eyes are like made of... You don't know, can you tell his eyes are made of glass? I mean, whoever crafted them did a very good job. They look just like normal eyes. Only up close do you realize they're made of glass.
maybe.
Mostly, do you care if his eyes are made of glass?
Yeah.
So, insight-wise, yeah, up close you can see his eyes are made of glass.
I noticed.
So you see, like, he offers a hand and he wants you to put his hand in his hand.
Okay. I do so.
So, and he just does something weird, like, you got your hand in his left hand, and his right hand's just, like, rubbing your hand. Like, he's rubbing your hand, and he just kind of, like, blows on it, and then he gestures towards the other hand.
Okay. I've given the other hand.
So he's doing the exact same thing for the other hand, and then he just turns around and walks away. Then you see that the little guy Shrimp is like he's almost ecstatic that the Grim is back, and then Grim's just he just kind of like gestures towards we still got work to do, just keep it civil.
Winston, Tukri, any idea what that was?
It's like I have no idea what he just did. I've never seen him do that, and I've known him for maybe a few years, so your guess is as good as mine.
Rang, any idea what that was?
It's like, And so Rang, he takes some time and he actually, he leaves his perch on your shoulder and he's, going up to you where your hand is. But, what's the positions of your hands right now?
I've just got them outstretched and I'm looking at them.
Okay, so you have them outstretched. Now, remember, Rang is extra-dimensional, so he doesn't always abide by the laws of physics. So, he's walking along your arm at an angle where he should be falling off. So he's just walking up your arm, and he's walking to your hand. And then he kind of, just rubs his head against it. It's like the densities of your hands have appeared to have changed.
How so?
It's and you see, he's pecking at your hands, and you're not feeling much of it.
Huh.
It's like, Tukri, if you would assist me. Well, it's okay. It's would you shake Miss Saydale's hand? So are you going to offer your hand to her, or are you just going to keep them, palms up?
Yeah, I guess I'll offer my hand.
So she shakes your hand, it's what the hell? What happened to your hands?
I don't know.
It's and so she walks over, it's Winston, you're going to have Grim explain. I think she's a little bit, freaking out over what happened to her hands. So, yo, Winston, front center. So, he just walks up, and it's right, mind explaining what you just did to the lady's hands? And he's just making a bunch of gestures. I mean, he's basically talking with his hands. So it's like, yeah, alright. It's like, alright, short version, he kinda like, I don't know, the word he used was molded. He molded your hands into a different type of hands. Or so, I don't know. That's what he's saying it is.
How does that even work?
It sounds stupid to me. And it also sounds like it's a bit ridiculous. But, I mean, this is Grimm we're talking about. It just doesn't have any eyes.
I touch my hand up against, like, another part of my body, as in, like, normal skin.
Okay, so you touch the normal skin, and it doesn't, like, you... It feels normally. I mean, like... What do you mean by another part of your skin? I mean, like, you're just touching yourself? Like, skin-wise?
Like my arm or something.
Yeah, so you're touching your arm. Like, the arm doesn't feel any different. Nothing else feels any different. It's like, even your hands don't feel any different. Like, you still touch regularly. It doesn't feel like you have, like, you're exerting more strength or anything. It doesn't feel like your hands are any different, but everything around you, everyone around you is telling you your hands have molded or something.
I punch a wall?
So the wall does not stand up to the punch. Like you, how hard do you punch the wall? Do you just tap it, or do you like punch it?
Yeah, just sort of like I don't know, how do you explain it? It's like a punch that's like no effort into it. It's just like a.
Okay, so it puts a dent in the wall. Like you see, there's cracks now snaking out of the wall. And it's like Tuker's like, whoa. Practice that somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, and Winston's like, yeah, just try not to ruin the shop. We gotta keep appearances up, you know?
Wait, one more thing. I just, like, tap the wall with my finger.
Okay, so you tap the wall with your finger, and even that is enough to, like, you see it start to, like, dimple inwards. It's not denting, it's not causing cracks or denting it, but, like, you see the material is starting to compact slightly.
Holy mother of what the...
Oh.
I'm not sure.
And Winston, you hear him calling back. It's like, Grim, next time you do that to somebody, you put like a warning label on their hands or something.
I fix it up. With the
Yeah,
matches.
so.
Dope.
Are you gonna bother sharing that secret?
What?
That Winston can mess with your bone structure or in your muscle structure.
No, it says just.
Who's in the room? Like, who was around? Let's see. Closest bodies were what? Well, I mean, Niltor just entered. Niltor, what were you gonna do here?
Look for say, actually.
Okay, well. So, say, let's see, do a perception. Would you have actually been around the area? That's a 30, Jesus. Let's see if you were actually around the... Okay, that is definitely... Yes, you are. You will be in the area, and he will witness you basically putting a dent into the wall with minimal effort.
Okay, then.
Yeah, and Yuki's like, That's like, will they ever cease to amaze me how strange this place is?
I just filter it out.
It's like, maybe it's not the place, maybe it's just the people.
Does this make me better at lifting things as well?
No, wait, what?
Does this make me better at lifting things as well?
I don't know. You'll have to find out. It's like you don't know what your hands are capable of.
I've got god hands.
Okay. Not god hands, it's just your hands have a higher density. Like you can't shoot lasers and shit out of them.
Well, I can.
Okay. Well, yeah, you can, but what is it? You're gonna have a roulette wheel now? So why were you looking for Say exactly?
I want her to teach me something. She can say
Right,
go.
so hey, Payback's a bitch, ain't it? It's now Niltor's looking for you to teach him something.
Yeah, okay. I think I got what I wanted.
Okay, so you'll have to train a little bit with it to figure out how it works. But yeah, roughly you have it now.
Cool. And fucking scary ass
So,
high density hands.
and whatever it is, it's like, I guess, Grim doesn't really talk, so he's not about to divulge how he did that. But apparently it's something that is unique to Grimlocks, or at least him, by the way. Okay, so Niltor, what were you trying to learn from Sei? So now that Sei's in the room, she basically just put a dent in the wall with almost minimal effort.
To figure out how she can permanently see ghost and the invisible and like.
Okay, so Niltor's asking you for the same eyesight you have, which is he wants you to teach him witch sight.
I got that because I'm like connected to an excessively evil entity.
Okay, do you tell him that, or do you just?
Yeah, I explained it to him.
Okay,
like,
so do you take this conversation somewhere else, or are you like talking across? Basically, you're in a door frame, he's in a door frame, and you're talking to each other.
well, I've never kept it secret.
Okay, so you're just talking in the room. Like, as soon as they say take it somewhere else, Niltor comes in, and that's the question he asks, because he was in the door at the time. And now you're having this conversation here, and you're talking about being bound to evil entities. Winston's like, yeah, I'm going to get back to work. You know, this is not my... And Tuku's like, well, I can't work because they're, like, in between my station. Because her desk is, like, here, and you guys are standing in a position where she'd be in the middle.
Come out back.
So she says follow him, or follow her, sorry. So you're gonna head out back. You see Tobias over there, like he's drinking something again.
First I walk up to Tobias and say, hey, shake my hand.
So, like he offers a hand, and so you see that look of surprise on his face. That's like, oh, do I have to ask, or?
Grimlocks, I guess?
It's like you mean that one that we got in the blacksmithy. What did he do to your hands?
No clue.
It's like, well, I don't think I'm going to ask. It says, be careful with that. I felt the armor sort of creak.
Christ.
It's like, and it's like, and be careful when you embrace loved ones and other things you do with loved ones.
Yeah, I wouldn't want them to become that wall.
Okay, so yeah, crushing your loved ones like a damn soda can would probably suck.
Yes.
Okay, so Niltor wants to be taught witch sight or whatever the hell it is. Like, what is it, a boon or something, or?
It's he wants true sight, I assume.
Yeah, that's different from witch sight then.
Yeah, but I've got like an amalgamation of sights that pretty much gives me true sight with all their overlap.
Okay, so he basically wants true sight. In short, he wants the sight you have, which is true sight.
Angelo.
Do I understand my own sort of like abilities enough to replicate them in someone else?
Roll intelligence. You're a mirologist. If you don't have that, then I am surprised you are a mirologist. So it's like,
Well, I can do this right now.
yeah. So he can see invisibility.
I
So
roll a fucking 1 again.
it's because it's complex. Remember, the sight you have is a combination of multiple spells. It's not just seeing invisibility. It's being able to see into other like realms and such.
I knew that.
Okay, so or he could re-roll and he could understand how it works. But it's still the same concept. It's a multitude of spells, and in order for Niltor to have the same thing, he will also need those same spells to understand. So you will have to take time to basically teach him the multiple other spells, and then also teach him how to combine them together into one sight. So it's like, how do you see all that? And without him, preferably without him going mad from all the things he can now see.
None of them are spells for me, though. Sad face.
Say what?
None of them are spells, though. Not for me, at least.
What are they? How are they not spells?
They're eldritch invocations. Which
but
give me a permanent passive thing.
It's still one of those. You can still dissect that and turn it into something equivalent of a spell.
Okay.
So either way, you have to teach him. It's like it's hard for a little bit because, well, he doesn't quite understand your whole deity thing and the religion thing, and yeah, just all that. So you have to kind of exclude parts because it's like, well, you aren't this.
Religion? Since when?
Or just your deity. It's like he doesn't quite get that. Hey, there's a great elder one which I.
Not a deity. Patron.
Whatever the hell, patron. Whatever the hell he is. You have to explain to him in a way where it's like, all right, so you don't need a patron to do this. That's a problem, though. It's because it's like, do you need a patron to do all of that stuff? Aren't these like gifted from your patron?
Well, technically, I take them from him.
Yeah, but don't you? You still have to use his power to do all this stuff.
Yeah, all you'd need is like an excessively powerful power source that you can just suck from.
Okay, Niltor, do you actually have one of those?
What?
An excessively powerful power source to suck power from to power all this new spells that are now about to course through your veins?
Power.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one of those Angronite crystals, actually.
Sanguinite on its own is a vampire crystal. That's just
Okay.
That's not gonna work.
Okay.
So, Niltor, that's your current predicament. It's like, she can't really teach you because you don't have any sort of like major power source in terms of magic to use to power this new abilities you're going to have.
Would
There's my
Yuki
loot.
work?
Say what?
Would Yuki work? Yuki could become his patron.
That's a good point. I like that. Okay, so wait, so you just say that aloud? It's like, well, Yuki could do it,
Yeah.
and she's like, she has an evil grin, like worse than you've ever seen.
You have to remember, she can tell you to do things, and then if you don't
Pretty
do
much.
them, she can just take the power.
Yeah, and that's
side.
where she's going at. It's like, basically, it's like, you're gonna become my slave now. If you want this power, you're gonna need to like basically bow to my will.
Decent segue into Warlock, though, if you want to do that.
So she's like, she says it out loud. It's like, ha. And it's like, oh, the shoe is on the other foot now. Now you have to do what I say. And she's trying to play it off like she's stretching a little bit. It's like, but I don't know. Are you willing to be a slave to me for great power?
Being a patron isn't just slavery.
And she smiles. It's like, it is to me.
I mean, they can refuse things that you ask. It's just...
It's like, very true. Very true. It's like, and so she smiles again. It's like, but then again, I hold the keys to his great power. Or whatever the hell you're trying to do to yourself. And so she's looking at you. It's like, hey, it's your choice. I mean, you're the one that wants to see everything. Be all-knowing.
Not all-knowing, all-seeing.
All-seeing, all-knowing, whatever. So what is your choice? I mean, she pretty much... and so she pretty much lays it out. It's like, you do realize that means that you're pretty much bound to me forever, and that even if you die, I'll just bring you back. And that I'll just keep bringing you back, and you'll be in eternal servitude for the rest of your life to me. Unless something happens to me.
You know, resurrection is like really hard if he dies of old age or anything like that.
It's like, and Yuki just smiles like, I have ways.
But as in, like, seriously, it's almost impossible. You'd have to, like, I don't even know how you'd even start to do that.
Wait, what?
I don't even know how you'd even start to do that.
What, how to bring someone back from old age?
Yeah, someone who's died of old age. Because, like,
So-
every single spell says if they've died of old age, you can't bring them back.
And so... And she just lays it out. It's like, it's quite simple. You just reverse time. Or at least their time. It takes a little bit of monitoring. You just make them a little bit younger, and then just you're good.
Again, not simple. Because, like, how would you...
And so she just stops, just like, let me stop you there. I'm going to make this simpler. It's like, it's not that he's going to die, it's that he's never really going to age after this happens.
Do both.
So, it's like, the short order is you're going to stay whatever age you are for the rest of your life, like it or not.
Well, are we doing this or what?
Say what?
We're doing this or what?
So it's like, I'm waiting on your answer. Are you willing to be my servant for the rest of your life?
Yes, answered. Yes.
Okay, so she offers her hand. It's like, just then show me your commitment.
Rather.
Okay, do you take this man as your etc.? Do you take this woman
She
as
just
your
smiles
etc.?
like,
We're not
not
being
like
wedded.
that.
It's close enough. This patron thing can get really weird sometimes. No,
it's like, and she smiles like, we're not getting married.
yet. So
It's like yet, ever.
Even inside
So it's like, and so she just sits down and she's practically glowing with excitement. It's like, this is awesome to her. It's like, all right,
Okay,
continue on with whatever you're doing.
so just like grabs both of their heads or something,
Why?
because she needs to like transfer energy or some crap like that.
Okay, so you put your hands on their heads, and what are you doing?
Ooh, if I can describe this, as like a sigil appears on both of their foreheads for like a moment, and then it fades away, and then they are eternally bound.
Okay. And Yuki's like, clever.
Thank you.
And Yuki's like, she's still smiling wickedly. It's like, so I'm your god now.
you are not my god.
And it's like, oh, but the contract says I am.
There isn't a contract. You're just bound.
It's like, how is that not a contract?
Well, you can give each other things, pretty much.
Okay, so
It's kind of like you're both each other's patrons.
and it's like, and she looks at that. It's like, oh, you just ruined everything. You ruined the fun.
Well, you were getting cocky.
And it's like, yeah, because he's cocky all the time. Okay, so you just like walk away at that point, or?
Well, you have to test out these new hands.
Okay, so you walk away because you're distracted by your hands.
I sound like someone on acid.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So you're
You walk away because you're distracted by your
distracted by your hands. So no, Tor, it's like, you have this new gift, which is, you're starting to see a bunch of stuff that you probably did not expect. Like, you are seeing some of the ghostly patrons that walk around this place. Like, you can see through, like, it's strange. So, how are you adjusting? Do a wisdom. How are you adjusting to the fact that you can see everything? Okay, you are not adjusting very well. I don't think you expected this. So, now you can see because it doesn't turn off. It stays on, right? It doesn't.
You have a true sight for, well, I can see.
Yeah, having
everything.
it permanently, it's like it doesn't turn off, so you can't just unsee the things you see. No, they don't. They just make it so you can make it so it's like the what is it? Irresistible force, which means you can just pound through resistances.
Sad face.
Yep.
You know, take some.
You can bypass resistances. Why would you get a sad faced? And also, you have that weird ass exploit, which says you could turn immunity into resistance, and then you could turn that resistance into nothing. So.
I know, it's just.
So no, you're not getting more than that. So Neltor, it's like, and Yuki just kind of shoves you on the shoulder. It's like, you're right over there. You're not freaking out, are you?
Not yet.
It's like, what do you mean not yet? It's like, am I gonna have to like put you in a straitjacket or something? And you can tell she's making a joke about it.
Quite sure yet.
Yeah.
Have to see.
And you've noticed there's a definite change about her. I mean, now she's acting more like a succubus instead of a instead of trying to keep to herself. Now she's like doing everything that is not so civil.
So she looks different for me now. Actually.
Okay, how so?
Well, I can see true forms and all that stuff. I have true sight.
Oh yeah, you have true sight. So let's see. A true form of her. You actually have not seen it yet. So. Let's see, so she's supposed to look, like, in her current form, she's supposed to look normal-ish. And I emphasize normal-ish. But her actual form, I guess she's supposed to be far more devil, like, so the things that she tries to hide from normal view, which is she has horns. So, hold on, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this. Alright, so first off, we gotta move this and get rid of that. Step 1. Step 2 is I have to do... I think I have to do that, and then I just reveal it like... I had this, even prior prepped, this damn thing still gives me a hassle.
My chair, it's falling apart. Why do all of my chairs fall apart?
Okay.
Do I not screw them together right? Because it's always...
Okay, so a couple things that you notice, like, well, number one, she has horns. I mean, you didn't notice the horns. Number two, her hair is a lot longer. Like, in whatever non-true form, she has short hair, but in her actual form, her hair actually goes down to her waist. Number three is the wings are definitely well defined. Other things like she has fangs. Like normally she had teeth, and now you see that she has fangs.
That's different.
So, and she gives you like a toothy smile. It's like, do you like what you see?
Oh.
So she's making a joke out of it. It's like, just now that you can see her true form, it's like, do you like what you see?
Yes.
Okay, so, and that takes her by surprise. It's like, really?
Well, why would I lie?
It's like, well, I thought, the sharp teeth and the horns would probably be a turn off. It's like, and she shows you her hands, it's like, plus, these, and like, her fingers aren't fingers, she has claws. So.
I noticed that before.
So, it's like, and these, and she's like, on her feet, she also has claws. She doesn't have feet, she just has claws. And so, like, she like, taps you on the back with her tail, and it's like, end this.
And I know you had a tail.
Okay, so, it's like, but did you notice these? And it's like, she shows it next to your face, and her tails are covered in spikes. Or her tail is covered in spikes.
That's new.
Okay, so it's like, so what happens now? I mean, because in the end, it's like it's So she like grabs you on the shoulder and pulls you closer. It's like, because in the end, I still expect you to sleep with me, with or without whatever illusion of me you may have thought.
I'm with this. Don't care at all.
Say what?
Care at all, honestly.
It's like, I don't think it's the scared part I'm more worried about. I think it's more of the, now that I have all my parts clear display, you're going to get some pretty bad physical trauma. It's like, because, I have claws and fangs and, horns. Plus, my wings are barbed, and so is my tail.
Plus Jenga.
It's like, yeah, when's the last time you seen Jang sleep with anyone? It's like my point, exactly. Okay, so now you have to worry about Yuki's true form, now that you can see her true form. Say, likely you've already seen her true form, so I mean, what is now you're seeing, like, his reaction to now seeing what he's been sleeping with all this time.
Underwhelming.
Yeah, but you've seen her true form, so what, an underwhelming response, or?
Yeah.
What did you actually expect from him?
Something?
Something that wasn't just what just happened?
There's any reaction at all.
Yeah, true. He seems pretty calm for the fact that he's been sleeping with something covered in spikes and with fangs, so. Alright, we gotta rotate.
As Say's watching this, she's like touching like dummies and stuff, and they're just exploding.
Mm-hmm. Not much exploding, they're more of just being dented. I mean, some of these are made of wood, metal, cloth. And it's like, it seems like if it's a solid form, it works pretty well, but if it's a cloth form, it's like you have to put a little bit more effort into cloth. Like, cloth is, it's designed to resist some sort of impacts.